All right, today is July 30th. I want to take a look a little bit at kind of the energies we just went through, energies we're in, and maybe a little bit about what we can expect in August. Um, so the energies we just went through, wow, just wow. A lot of changes in the energy, and I'm sure a lot of you felt it, but in a good way. There was a very powerful, positive shift. However, one thing I noticed is for a few days there, I felt like I didn't fit in my body. You know how when you get a shirt that just doesn't sit right and you're pulling on it and trying to settle into it and get it just right? That's how I felt about being in my body. It's like I'm not fitting right in this. And it wasn't that I wasn't centered, it was an energetic thing where I feel like I was bigger than my body. So there was that. Um, I won't rehash all the stuff that's happened as far as the past 3 weeks because, you lived it or you saw it. So we'll go on to the more subtle changes. One thing I have noticed is that personal connections, they've become very interesting. So what I've noticed, at least for me, is that there's more one-on-one personal, not business, personal connections. Um, New like energies also coming in, new people coming into my reality with like energies or like minds. Um, so the one-on-one personal, not business, one-on-one interactions have increased. They've gone up. Um, but at the same time, I'm hermetizing. Yeah, that's not a real word. Um, so we have one-on-one interactions, personal interactions. We also have more people falling away from our life. They're just not hanging around anymore. This is not in our frequency. So hermetizing and one-on-one personal, kind of opposites, but it's working. More is being exposed, um, brought into the light so it can be seen and dealt with. And this is going to be an ongoing process. However, I feel between now and the end of August, maybe a week or two in September, more and more is coming out. So for people who have not been doing the work and have been living in fear and chaos, it may be a little more stressful than it has been. For those of us who have been doing the work, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, woohoo, it's finally coming out. Um, Bouts of nausea. I'm looking at my notes because I had a lot of notes for this that I just wanted points to touch on. Bouts of nausea. Kind of like when, at least for me, when you get on a roller coaster, it just comes out of nowhere. My lips turn white. I feel nauseous. It doesn't last long. Then it goes away. I'm like, okay, there it was. This is the reaction to the intensity of the energies coming through. And we'll get into why in a minute. All right. For energy workers, you might feel excited about seeing all the hard work you've been doing is now showing up on a large scale. So, yay, yes. The big one is time shifts. Time's not linear, and there isn't one time. So, there's alternate realities or parallel universes, or however you want to call it, however you want to look at it. There's a lot more out there. And what's happening is they're all coming together. Um, I'm sure you noticed online an increase on the Mandela effect. If you don't know what this is, Google it. There's a lot of information. There's more out there now. The last 3 weeks, it's like, for example, in my lifetime, I have seen Richard Simmons pass away 3 times now. Okay. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. So we have Mandela effects that are global. We have Mandela effects that are regional or continent-wide. We have Mandela effects that are personal in your own reality that not everybody else is experiencing. So what happens is when these lines start converging, okay, they become one. So you could have your own Mandela effect, which means, okay, here's an example. I put my teapot on the stove to heat water for my cacao. And this is my daily ritual. So I turn the gas on and let it heat up while I prepare my breakfast. So I prepared my breakfast and I'm still waiting for the kettle to whistle. And I've still not heard anything, no bubbling, no nothing. And I'm like, that's odd. It's usually done by the time I'm finished preparing my breakfast. So I turn around and there's no fire under the kettle. I'm like, okay, so I guess I forgot to turn it on. Got a lot going on in my brain today. So I walk over and as I get close, I can feel the heat coming off the kettle. And I notice steam coming out, but there's no fire. But the kettle's hot and ready. And I'm like, okay. So when two timelines cross over, you can have that kind of experience where you kind of skipped ahead and it's already done. Or you can have the experience of, I have to do it again. And by this, I mean, let's keep using the kitchen as an example. After I picked everything, I had my breakfast, picked everything up, clean the counters, clean kitchen, turn around to put the rag back on the hanger for the sink, look back, it's dirty. As in identical to when I first started cleaning. My hands are still damp from the damp rag, so I know I used it. But one timeline came in on top of the other. So in this new timeline, I hadn't cleaned it yet. In this new timeline, the water was already hot and ready to go on the stove. Understand? So don't think you're losing it. Don't think you're losing it. Aside from any diagnoses from your doctor or mental health specialist, don't think you're losing it. All right. This is just the timelines coming together, and it's going to happen sporadically, which is probably why we have the bouts of nausea, like the roller coaster thing, because it comes in and out and in and out and in and out, and it's collapsing behind it. All right. So, this stuff that's come already, it's collapsed. And now we're in a little plateau, and then another one comes in. And so this, when it comes in, this is when they merge. This is when we see the Mandela effects. Okay. I hope everybody gets that. So, stay out of fear. I know I keep saying this. It's very important. Stay out of fear and chaos. Stay positive. We still have work to do. Each individual, you have to focus on what you do want, not what you don't want, what you do want. All right. What do you want in your reality? Hold it, picture it, bring it to you. Stay out of fear, stay out of chaos. So I know there's a lot going on. I love observing it. Observe, don't absorb. We don't want to bring all that stuff that's going on out there, all the exposures, all the chaos that comes from the exposure, because this shatters some people's belief systems. So yeah, there's going to be a little chaos going on. Observe, don't absorb. All right. So Mercury is retrograde until what, the August 20th, I believe. Which means slowing down, thinking through life, your life. It can upset or create imbalance or create frustration with contracts, electronics during this time. You can go to my website and type in Mercury retrograde to get a list of stuff that usually happens during this time. Okay. Now, when it comes out of Mercury retrograde, it's like we've been moving slow, moving slow, moving slow in Mercury retrograde. To me, I feel like I'm walking in molasses trying to push my way forward. So patience. So as Mercury retrograde ends, there's always a few days transition in and transition out of Mercury retrograde. Right after that, I want to say within 2-3 days. So like from what's it, the 20th to the 24th, somewhere in there, it's going to get wonky. It's going to get wonky. Um, when energy gets wonky, and I use that word for what I'm getting ready to describe, a lot of energy comes in. And for those who have been doing the work, yeah, we can be knocked out of kilt for a little bit, feel super sleepy, really want to hermitize, um, maybe sleep a lot, eat a lot. It's not depression, it's adjusting to the new energies. But the wonky part is for those who have not been doing the work, be careful while you're driving on the road. Be alert, be observant, be aware. Because when the others get wonky, they're not alert, they're not aware, they're stuck in their own head and they act wonky. It's just as simple as that. They act wonky. So we're going to have a little period there where right after we come out of Mercury retrograde, it's going to be even off. It's going to be off. It's going to feel off. We're okay. We're just adjusting, but those who do not stay and keep up with the energies, protect yourself. Just be observant, okay? And final, and I know I said this and I'm going to say it again, observe, don't absorb. You don't want that crap from out there, the negative crap, the chaotic crap, the fear crap. You don't want it. So observe, don't absorb. I think that's all for today. Thank you.